The following is a semi-professional... fuck it, read it yourself. I fucking hate grits. Welcome back to Nihilhalla.
Like the food grits? Or
like
the dirty people?
Like the food grits. Okay. And that's what was for breakfast on day 2 of my stay at the mental facility. And, just in detail, we had, what was it, eggs, grits, no, I think it was... Anyway, it wasn't a very memorable breakfast, but I remember the grits because I fucking hate grits. Not anything against them personally, just didn't grow up with them, and that's definitely the kind of food you have to grow up with to, like, actually learn to like.
You don't have to like it. All right.
Oh, God.
So anyway, after the shitty breakfast...
Yeah, so I decided that I was going to try and work on a different talent, because clearly card tricks wasn't going to pan out. So I offered to play chess with one of the other patients, and promptly discovered that either nobody else was on any kind of like brain-enhancing drugs, or all of them had been on brain-degrading drugs long enough that they had gone crazy, which is why they were there. In any case, my point is, I beat everybody at chess. Like, everybody. A few of the nurses sat down. I beat them at chess. And, like, one of them even said to me, which is probably one of the shittiest things anybody's ever said to me in my life, "Oh, so that's why you're here."
Oh, wow.
I was like, what? I was like, they're like, "Well, you're too smart for the world." I'm like, fuck you! Nobody is too smart for the world. That is not...
she probably, like, just had poor tact, because... Let's face it, there are nurses and doctors that have bedside manner, but a quote that I've always loved is, "Sorry, you're intelligent, you don't get the joy of being blissfully stupid." I think that might have been what she was going for.
I guess, but...
No, it's still a shitty thing to say.
Yeah.
Not defending her shitty thing she said, but I think that was what she was trying to go for.
Still, the point was, like, how could you possibly justify that to anybody? Like, I get, yeah, I'm an intelligent guy, or at least I like to think I am, but I don't like to think that I'm so intelligent that I can't, like, enjoy life. I
think she was trying to be funny and she failed. Honestly, is what that sounds like to me. It wasn't meant to be a slight.
Oh, did I just get too Tumblr-ish? Is that what the problem was?
No.
I was just too sensitive about it?
No. I think, you probably took it as a slight, and she honestly was trying to be funny and failed and had poor bedside manner. Just because, like, I'm sure she was trying to go for that haha giggle, because that is, like, kind of a giggle that smart people tell themselves. It's like, well, we don't get to be blissfully happy because we're intelligent. You know how dark the world is.
Well, I guess that's true.
That's always been a thing with smart people, is it's like they can be happy, but it's the whole... South Park did it when they faced a character called Reality, and he told them, he's like, "You get to live well, you take your spoiled lives for granted, but feel bad for it every once in a while. It shows that you are more human than usually the other humans."
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
No, that was honestly, like, the low point of the stay. It was, like, the one nurse telling me, like, "Oh, so that's why you're here." I'm like, oh, come on. But yeah, that night, when they were dispensing medication, because I was on medication at the time, I'd snapped despite the medication. Which, I'm not going to, like, detail what medication I was on, but I was on an antidepressant that didn't work as well as it should have, because it wasn't taking care of the whole issue.
I don't know, man. You
I feel like that's a fairly common problem that people have nowadays. Oh, God damn it.
No, man, you can totally share whatever you want. I mean...
But, like, anyway, a hell of a long story short, when they were dispensing medication that night, the nurse I talked to that night was much, much nicer, had a much nicer bedside manner, was a much nicer person in general, because she actually talked to me. She didn't just treat me like a bundle of numbers that had to be taken care of within a certain metric.
Yeah.
And, like, that was a really weird feeling, considering I'd been treated just like a bundle of numbers any other time I was in a hospital for any reason. Like,
well, and to, like, sorry to interrupt, but to do that point, as a person who's worked in the hospital industry and in, like, service position, it's really fucking hard, man, and that's why, like, a lot of doctors, nurses, firefighters, EMTs, paramedics have mental issues sometimes. When you see the ugliness of the world over and over, man, and you're just trying to like feed your family or whatever, it fucks you up. So sometimes, like, I think people forget that service workers are also human too, and it's kind of, you know, expecting a comedian to always be funny or expecting a chef to always cook good food. That is a thing that is very real about service workers. Is, yeah, it seems like they might not be doing their best or slipping through the cracks, but in the end, that's their job. And sometimes, man, you're just having a bad day and dealing with your own shit.
No, I get it, but like the other nurse, I'll never forget her. I'm not going to say it on the show, but I'll never forget her name. And like, I think part of that was because it was such a unique name, but she was honestly one of the nicest nurses I've ever met, and she actually like talked with me about what was going on. She asked why I was there. She asked if I'd had any visitors yet, and I said, like, no, I don't want to see anybody from the outside world because I feel like they're just going to, you know, contribute to the toxic mindset that I'm having about this whole experience right now. And I used that word specifically because it kind of really did at the time feel like I'd been poisoned by just some of the horrible shit that happens to basically everybody in life.
Yeah.
I am not 100% sure of how to proceed here.
There's a lot of shit bouncing around because those are all machine guns.
And there's a box there that I'm pretty sure I need to grab, but... Oh, God. Okay, that didn't work. Anyway, the... Oh, okay. I see. So if I grab from this angle, maybe? Nope.
Anyway, but she,
yeah, she, like, sort of, like, I don't necessarily want to say, like, she held my hand through the experience or anything, but, like, talking
she
with
definitely,
her...
it was comfort in a dark time.
Talking with her was definitely not just a comfort, but, like, a way to decompress all of the shit that I've been, like, having to really think about and try to work on my own. It's actually really funny because my psychologist at the time was a horrible listener. And she was much better at his job than he was, and I even asked her while I was there, I was like, why aren't you a doctor? She said, lack of ambition. I said, really?
I can understand that.
I was like, nurses can have a lack of ambition? She says,
yes.
She says, Neil, I'm 70 years old, I just want to retire and work in my garden.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
I can understand that feeling.
Wow. Like,
man, I feel what she's saying. As once being a service worker, sometimes, man, you see the ugliness and the shit of the world, and people ask me all the time. And my grandfather, who was in the military and was also a firefighter and retired doing that, same as my grandmother, who was one of the first female Cincinnati street cops. I mean, we've all kind of observed service jobs. It's kind of my family, but people have talked to us and thought we were crazy because we have the 1,000-yard stare, and they're like, well, what do you guys just want to do? And we're like, honestly, man, we want to sit in the yard and talk to the squirrels and birds.
I mean, I understand it.
No, people are like, oh my God, like, you're fucking loony. It's like, no, man, you listen to people burn to death and you kind of just want to have a cracker and a soda pop and fucking unwind and decompress. Like,
that was one of the things that that really got to me. A bit of backstory about that whole hospital trip, by the way, guys. I had a nervous breakdown, and I ended up calling 911 for myself. And Roman, who I'd known prior to then as an he was still working as an EMT, and I actually knew him before that happened, before all this happened. This was 3 years ago. Roman was actually the person who responded. Like, his unit of EMTs responded to the 911 call. And they walked in and said, like, well, we're going to keep the ambulance in service, but there's an officer here because there's always an officer deployed whenever there's an ambulance deployed. Like, damn near always, especially in this side of town.
Pretty much. Especially where we live in a rough part of town.
So the cop took me to the hospital, basically. And I checked myself in, put all my personal belongings in a box, and then signed myself out 3 days later. So.
Yep. Yeah, that's, you know.
The food, honestly, like people talk about hospital food sucking. Get the nutritional menu. Like, you may not want to eat healthy, but if you order crap, the hospital will feed you actual crap. Not like feces necessarily, but like if you want like I don't care about my health menu, you're not going to get steak and like mashed potatoes and stuff like that.
Cheeseburgers, fries. And
yeah, you're not going to get all that good stuff. You're going to get like the fucking pressed filet, fucking
gravy, mashed potatoes that's from a can, and powdered gravy.
Yeah, it's not good. And then if you get the nutritional menu, it's like fresh fruits and vegetables.
And salad,
or fresh-ish fruits and vegetables. I won't say it's like completely fresh, but it certainly had more color than the other shit.
It wasn't millet and bachelor chow.
Or what was it from the Cyberpunk handbook? Krill.
It's
all krill burgers.
Ugh. Earthenite and shit. Man, you are stuck on this trap.
Yeah, I know. Oh god, no! Oh god.
Well, next episode we do day 3.
Well, actually.
Oh, that encompassed day 3.
Yeah, no, I think I'm done talking about my hospital visit.
Oh, that's fine, man.
But we will continue with the game.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that with the nondescripts, and let this one go a little long.
And that kind of goes with like what we talked about a little bit on episode 17 of Shantae. Like, I think it was episode 17.
Go get help or something.
If you like, there is no shame in thinking that you need somebody to talk to, and finding a professional.
Obviously, people know that Game Grumps are one of our Let's Plays that we like. I mean, Danny's episode in Wind Waker is a good one to watch on mental health.
Definitely.
Give that a check, anybody who's struggling or has questions.
Also, there is a Sexplanations video that I recommend everybody watch, which is actually about how to choose a professional for your life.
Oh, really?
Regardless of what professional you need and why you need them, there is a whole step-by-step process that she details in that episode on how to choose one, regardless of what the professional is for. Like, she typically talks about sex and things related to sex, or rather sexual wellness, but really the same steps can be employed for just about any professional, from a plumber, like an actual fucking plumber, to a psychologist or a neuroscience
that's fucking cool.
expert or some shit like that. I almost said neuroscientologist.
Weird.
Yeah, neuroscience. Anyway, we'll see you next time, Nondescripts. And just keep it together.